Hi teachers, I'm going to show you how to use the at-home slides and student sheets. You'll need both to implement the digital option of the Amplify Science at-home units. Before we dive into the resources, I want to go over a few things that I think will help you understand the materials better as I explain them. First, for any of the resources you choose to utilize, you will be sharing them with your students and their families directly. There is no separate student platform for the at-home materials. You will need to work with your school or district leaders to determine a strategy for disseminating student materials. The same goes for collecting their completed work. Please consult with your administration to see if a policy for handing in work has been set. If you have room to create your own policy, you can find suggestions in the teacher overview for each unit. Next, I want to touch on the various resources we're offering and how they do or do not work together. We have the full original version of the Amplify Science units, and from these we have created condensed versions of those units called at-home units. At-home units are designed specifically for remote and hybrid learning and for reduced instructional time. The at-home units are available in two different formats, the at-home slides and the at-home packets. We're going to focus on the slides and student sheets, which together make up the digital option for the at-home units. Similar instructions and activities can be found in the print-based at-home packets. The at-home videos are also a new resource that we're providing for remote learning, but they include the same amount of content as the full Amplify Science units. If you choose to use the condensed units, you do not need the at-home videos and vice versa. This video in particular, as I said, is specifically for the at-home slides and student sheets, since the packets and the videos are a bit more straightforward to use. And with all that out of the way, we're going to switch into my Amplify Science teacher account so I can show you the materials themselves. Okay, here we are. The first thing you'll want to do is navigate to your grade level's remote resources by opening your global navigation menu and launching the Program Hub. Once that page opens, you'll choose I'm a teacher, then Remote Learning, Amplify Science at Home. Within there, you'll click Grade Level Resources, and finally, you'll find your grade level in the list. For 4th grade, the unit that's available now is Energy Conversions. Under At-Home Unit Resources, the first thing you'll want to do is read the teacher overview. After you've done that, you'll go down to the At-Home Student Sheets line, and you'll either download the PDF or click the Google link. Now, the At-Home Student Sheets file contains all of the student sheets that the slides will prompt students to work on. You can think of these as a sort of at-home notebook for kids who are using the slides instead of the packets. When you click the Google link, you'll be prompted to make a copy, at which point it will be added to your drive and you'll be able to edit it however you'd like. Here we go. Now you may be wondering if you can use the regular investigation notebook for the unit instead of the student sheets, since they look pretty similar. But while there is some overlap between the student sheets and the full investigation notebook, some activities are modified and there aren't as many of them. So it's really easiest to use these student sheets if you are implementing the at-home units with the at-home slides. For this and all of the other Google resources that we have provided here, we must ask that you not share them outside of your district. You can, of course, always choose the PDF options. They'll just be less straightforward to edit. Okay, so let's move on to the slides. You can open a compilation of all of the at-home slides here in either PDF or Google, but just a heads up, it will be a rather large file. Instead, you can download or make copies of them for each individual lesson. For each at-home lesson, you'll see links for the slides in this digital option column of the table. You do have the PDF option here, as I've said, but you'll likely be more interested in the Google Slides version. To use this, you'll click the Google link, at which point, again, you'll be prompted to make a copy. Then you can edit it however you want, and it'll be in your drive. It's your copy. I've already opened and made copies of a few different lesson decks so that I can show you various items that may not occur all in one lesson. We'll look at this one first. It is from the at-home lesson 1. The slides are designed to enable students to work independently or with caregiver help in the case of the young kiddos. The text on the slides is similar to what you would be saying if you were in class together. It gives instructions to students, sets the context for the unit and individual investigations, introduces videos, and so on. When the slides prompt students to complete an activity or to refer to the classroom wall, there will be an image of the student sheet that they'll use right on the slide so that they can find it. This is why it's so important for you to grab the student sheet files if you decide to use the at-home slides. For hands-on activities, when possible, we have provided a modified version of the activity that would be possible to be done at home. When that was not possible, such as in lesson 16 here, we instead provide a video of the hands-on activity instead. For those and all other videos included, the student can click the video box right in the slide, or they can click or enter the tiny URL that will be in the bottom right corner. In instances where there would normally be a teacher demo of an app, there will also be a video for students to watch instead. When slides call for students to use an app by themselves, there will be a link provided, such as here. Remember that students will need to be logged in to access the apps, though. Finally, when a student book is called for, there will be a link to an adult recording of reading the book for the student, as well as a link to the digital book itself. If your class doesn't have a classroom library license, your students will need to use the generic login that we're offering during remote learning. Check out our K5 digital book access tutorial video if you need instructions on how they'll do that. We have also included that information in the caregiver video that you can share with families. And finally, you'll also find some partner discourse activities in the slides. For these, we've included a note to remind students that they have options, such as talking to a family member, a friend, or a classmate on the phone. Like the other content, you can feel free to edit this to fit your context. To wrap up, I'm back in my own set of slides here. If you need more guidance on using the at-home slides or anything else, please don't hesitate to reach out to our support team. They can answer technical and pedagogical questions, and their contact info is here. You might also consider joining our fall webinars and office hours, which will be led by professional learning specialists. Until then, thanks and good luck.